Retro game players, thank you for tuning in. I'm Marcus, and here I am at the 2018 Cowlitz Gamers For Kids. This is my booth here. It's going to be an awesome show. This is some of the goods that I brought. I've got a grip of Genesis games, lots of really cool, rare PS4 stuff. I got Betty and Veronica, an old Mac Plus, of course the hats. I got some systems. I got a SNES Mini Classic here. Got the best cameraman in the world filming, Radical Reggie. PS2 games galore. Castle Grayskull. A couple cereal boxes. Got the 3DO FZ10 ready to rock. So we're gonna get it done. So just want to show you the booth setup. I'm at a lot of these expos, so always come out to these and support your local events. Alright, so there you have it. That was my booth yesterday that was filmed, and I'll tell you what, the Cowlitz Gamers For Kids is an awesome event. If you're in the Northwest and you haven't been there, you got to go check it out. Plus, it does benefit the Arc of Cowlitz County, which is a really great nonprofit. And I had a great time. I bring a ton of stuff there, and I do as much as I can for trading, selling, obviously. But a lot of you guys who've been around for a long time know that I always try and do these events when I can. I usually have a booth at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and you know, this was my second year at Cowlitz as a vendor. You know, John Hancock does a great job of organizing. He's a pleasure to work with, and you know, lots of other really great people there. So it's a blast to do. I do want to say this pickup video maybe a little bit long. I have a lot of stuff to go over, but it's all very cool. And you know, the other thing that's funny is, as I'm there, I always get asked, "Hey, where's your store? Where do you know where are you located?" And it's I mean, that's great because people think I have a store. I don't have a store as of yet. You know, maybe down the road I can somehow work something out, but at the moment, I don't have a store. All the inventory you see, everything you saw in the video, that is all duplicates. Everything there is a duplicate in my collection. And if it's not a duplicate, it's just something that I'm not interested in keeping. So that's what all that is. And I really just do this because it's a great way to make trades. As you'll see, I really try and emphasize trading. In fact, a lot of times I'll go walking around to vendors, and if I see something that I'm looking for, I will, you know, specifically ask them, you know, hey, come by my booth and just look around. Maybe there's something you want. So anyway, before I get into that, I also wanted to show you guys this really awesome record that was sent to me by SPACELAB9. SPACELAB9 does some really amazing vinyl pressings. You know, you can go as far back as the Mega Man video, the Mega Man vinyl record pickup video that I got. And anyway, they've done Fallout, they've done Skyrim, they've done Dark Souls. And they sent me this record, which is extremely retro. And I thought I'd open this so we could listen to this during this massive pickup video. So let's check this out. I've got my Batman knife. We're going to rip into this. And you've already listened to it in the background now, so you probably have some, you know, idea of what it is. But let's check out what the record jacket itself looks like. Okay, so here it is. I've got a print of, it looks like album details. Interesting. It's just sort of a one sheet on the actual album, and here it is, Namco Museum. So this is a really cool record. It's actually kind of cool. It's got a frame, like an overlay as far as the old arcade machines go. And it's Namco's greatest hits. So on here, we're going to be hearing Pac-Man, which is just sound effects. Galaga, New Rally X, Mappy, Xevious, Dig Dug, and Dig Dug has 3 different tracks. Bosconian that's all side 1, and then side 2 is Ga Plus. I don't know which game that is. Crag with Dragon Buster. I think that's the I'm not sure what that is either. Tower of Duraga, Sky Kid, and then The Return of Ishtar, Rolling Thunder, and then check this out. Evil Cross and Nightmares, Stage 4 from Splatterhouse. I think that's awesome. And then the ending of Splatterhouse, and then Miss Pac-Man. So let's open this up and check out the vinyl. So it's really cool. It's actually got a really cool jacket. You can see when it pulls out, you're left with various overlays that you can leave in there. So actually, you can have, there's Mappy, and then there's Dig Dug, and then it looks like in here you've got Rolling Thunder, Splatterhouse. Oh man, this is awesome. Xevious. So pretty cool, very high quality. And then this is the jacket itself, which has Pac-Man and Galaga. And here's the record, which is also really cool. So it's got a Pac-Man. That's pretty rad. All right, so thank you so much, SPACELAB9. You guys are awesome. We will be listening to this as we unbox and check out all this cool stuff. So thank you again. Okay, launching into the day at Cowlitz. I'm filming this on April 1st, actually. And I gotta say, I'm pretty exhausted. It was a long day, but great time. And Reggie came down. He actually helped me with my booth for a little bit. The Game Hunters hung out with me for quite some time. They also watched the booth. I think a few times people came up and asked them why they were selling their collection. That's what COE33 told me, so that's pretty funny. Those guys are great. Thanks again for coming by and hanging out. But Reggie brought some trades. We did a bunch of trades. In fact, we've been working on this trade for a couple months. So this is stuff that kind of has been, you know, put on the back burner until we would see each other next time. So, you know, this is some stuff he brought to the expo that I just picked up because I am upgrading my own NES set. So these are all in box, which is really cool. So Jack Nicklaus Golf. Top Gun, which, by the way, if you want to see how to land the plane, I'm going to link to the video. I did a video on how to land the plane. I loved that game when I was a kid. Goal, Bases Loaded, Football, and then check this out, Snoopy, of course. And then, you know, this game, I actually really dig Tag Team Wrestling. So those are all in box. Really cool because I can upgrade some of the games. He also hooked me up with this tiny little Genesis USB hub, which is pretty funny, and it says Sega on the bottom, so I don't know if this is official or not, but it looks pretty nice. So, you know, you can never have enough USB ports these days. At the end of the show, this guy came up to me and gave me this. It's Shaq Fu Punch, which is pretty funny because the game, of course, Shaq Fu, you know, is sort of notorious, but it's really weird because back in the day, I actually had Shaq Fu, you know, and I actually, I don't know, we had kind of fun playing that, my friends and I, but, so there's Shaq Fu, the iced tea. Arizona Beverage makes that, by the way, so it's not made anymore. Another game from Reggie is Wade Huxton's Counter Punch on Game Boy Advance. I think he actually had this in box, but I didn't need that version. I'm totally cool going loose for a lot of these games, but this one is really cool. It's basically like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, or a sequel to Super Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, or Super Punch-Out on Super Nintendo. So it's pretty similar. And he also hooked me up with some of these other games. Kingsley's Adventure on PS1. So that's pretty cool. It's a little Fox platforming game. Some of these, I'm not really sure what they're about. Actually, he just kind of convinced me because he's quite the salesman. This is John Woo's Stranglehold on PS3. This one I've beat. I actually really like this. Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. This is the sequel to The Longest Journey. And I didn't have this on Xbox. I just have it on PC. That's what I beat that on. And then Ninja Blade for Xbox 360. Of course, I'm a fan of this, Clock Tower 3 on PS2, so that's very, very cool. Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Now this is an amazing PSP game. I'll tell you what, I'm probably going to start playing this right away. So really stoked to do that. Apex on Xbox. Mortal Kombat Deception. I didn't have this one, and it just looks really weird. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, that works. I don't remember asking him for this. I think he just threw this in. Dungeons on the PC. It's got a slipcover. Thanks, man. By Calypso. Lifeline voice action adventure. Reggie was saying that you could actually command this lady around, like through your mic. You have to have the camera or a headset, I guess. But anyway, you can actually say things to her. I don't know. I'm not really sure. MotoGP. Now, I'm pretty stoked to have this one, believe it or not. I really like motorcycle racing games, and that series is actually pretty fun. Trapped is very unusual. I'm not sure if this has anything to do with Tecmo. Oh, it does, yeah. So Tecmo, and Tecmo's Deception is a really cool game. So it's similar to that. I think you somehow, I'm not sure if you're actually doing traps. I think you are. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play this one to see. But Tecmo's Deception is a very cool game and kind of a classic. So this is by Tecmo. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I think that there's like 4 of these games on PS2, and this is one that I was missing. Now this is funny because he loves this game. I've never played it. It's Urban Chaos. He wants me to do a video on the channel, so I probably will. Riot Response, and you have a shield, and I think that's part of the play mechanic, is you have this shield and you want to be using that. Cold Fear. This is a really cool game. You're like on this freighter out at sea, and you know, I think something takes over your crew. Anyway, it says sound the depths of terror, and you know, I've watched a lot of videos on this, and it's actually pretty awesome. So we'll be checking that one out. Rally Sport Challenge on the Xbox. I don't know. I'm not sure why he didn't want this one, but you know, I'll take that. This one, I know why he doesn't want this, because it doesn't work anymore. EverQuest Online Adventures. This is, you know, I don't know. You can't really play it, I don't think. I think that it requires an internet connection, so it's kind of dead. And this is a bizarre game, Arthur and the Invisibles, the game. So I don't know if that was a movie or something. It might have been a movie, but it's weird because Arthur, the name is all like glittery. It's probably really hard to see that, but it's like this glitter-induced font there. So those are all that, and then oh, and then also actually a couple other ones. We've got Mega Man X2 for Super Nintendo, and this is a custom case he made. The game itself, right here. So pretty stoked on that. And then Mega Man X3 as well. I already had the first X game, so I think got rid of that. But yeah, so these are awesome. And let's see, there's also, oh, Iceman, the big box PC game. Now I don't know anything about this one. It's by Sierra. It looks old, like I don't know if it's DOS. It says it's, yeah, DOS. So you're gonna need to load that up. It's hilarious though. The box looks pretty awesome. And you know, one day I'm gonna have a sweet gaming setup with old retro games, because back in the day I played so many PC games. It was like, it was another outlet for me to play. I mean, yeah, so I have a big history with big box collecting, which kind of leads me to my next couple purchases. So Kinsey was there, and she was actually selling a couple of her games. And anyway, this is one that I picked up, Mabus or Mabus. I'm not sure. It's M-A-A-B-U-S. And what's funny about this is it's just so kind of like so bad it's good. I remember coming across this back in the day, and I never bought it. I just thought the box was really cool back in the day, and I always wanted to check it out. So it's in really good shape, and you know, I just was really excited to pick that up. So that one, and then she also had this, which is pretty awesome. This is Fade to Black, and Fade to Black is by Delphine Software. They also did Flashback and Out of This World, and it's a very unusual, like, arrow-shaped wedge box, like, super cool. It's weird, but back in the day, I just had the disc. I've never even seen this box. I just had the disc, and it plays kind of like a third-person, really heavy, like, polygon style, you know, graphic engine. But it's definitely similar to Flashback, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So thank you very much, Kinsey. And she also, I gave her a hat, so I hope you enjoy that. You keep that shit retro. I tried to trade her Castle Grayskull for these, but she wasn't having it, even though I told her that, you know, she had the power and she could make that decision if she wanted, but she wasn't having it. So anyway, thank you so much. And then a couple other trades I did were for just games that I had sitting in the case. Like, I don't remember all of the trades and what I traded, but I know that I traded one of the limited run games for this, and it's Gianna Sisters on DS, which is a pretty classic platformer. And I believe that was John that traded me this, if I remember right. And I can't remember which limited run game he grabbed for me, but anyway, really stoked to have this one. I'm going to be checking that out. And then this is La Mulana, which was another limited run release for Vita. And I traded One Way Heroes to a guy, so thank you very much. I don't think I even caught his name, otherwise I would say that. And then a couple other booths as I walked around. I did find in the back Frog Feast on Sega CD. Now, I don't know anything about this game other than it looks like it's pretty unofficial. And on the back, the screenshots look like, I don't know, they look like an old NES game or something. It says, Older Games is pleased to bring you the latest offering of master programmer Charles Doty, Frog Feast. This game, tribute to the classic Frog Bog, was made from the ground up. And anyway, I don't know, it looks like you control the lily pads. So anyway, I love Sega CD stuff. I've said it a bunch, but I'm trying to complete a set. So that's why I grabbed this, even though it's not official. I just thought it was cool. I've never seen it, never heard of it or anything. And then I grabbed this one, which I needed, and it's Frankenstein and Dracula, the combo pack, which is kind of cool. Sega CD had a few of these games where they released 2 games in one. And, you know, on the inside, you've got both discs, and both manuals are in there too. So that was really cool. I got this from the same booth as Frog Feast. And then Josh Hamlin had these 2 games, which he probably thinks I'm crazy for buying the Sega CD sports games, but NFL's Greatest, San Francisco versus Dallas. I actually have the disc only, so I wanted to get the case and manual. And then soccer, FIFA Soccer. So I picked that up from him as well. So those 2, you know, I upgraded. And so all these other games that I did upgrade, I will be adding them to my booth, you know, down the road. And I'm actually right now deciding if I'm going to be at Portland Retro Gaming Expo or not. I've been there for 3 years in a row as a vendor, and I always have a great time. But I'm just not sure. It's like, it's so much work, and I never really get to just go around and hang out that much. Even if I have someone watching my booth, I always feel like I need to get back to them. I don't want to leave them alone for so long, that kind of thing. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, I've got a couple more games here. I got this was another trade. I think his name was Mike, and he runs a game store in Longview, which I can't remember the name of, so I'm really sorry about that. But he was extremely friendly. They had a big booth. Lots of really fairly priced games. So if you're in Longview, look up the local game stores. If I can, I will put it somewhere on the screen here so you guys know. But he was awesome, and he traded me, I think it was Night Trap for PS4 for these games, and it's just funny because, like, you know, people look at these games and they're like, why would you even buy this? But one is The Adventures of Mighty Max on Genesis, and it's just one that I was missing, and you know, I'm slowly collecting toward a complete Genesis set. I'm still probably, I don't know, probably 200, maybe less than 200 games away. Cybermorph for Jaguar. I know that this game is not well liked. It's just so heavily like polygon. It's a mess of a game. But it was one that I think it was a pack-in on the Jaguar. And then Kasumi Ninja. Not really great, but again, I was missing that one. And then Iron Soldier on the Jaguar as well. So that was a really cool trade for Night Trap, and yeah, I'm stoked to have all that stuff. Now, it's not over yet. There is sort of one other massive pickup, really amazing item, and I am extremely ecstatic. But what I'm going to do is move all this stuff because it's pretty big. Before I move on to this next pretty awesome item, I have another really cool item here. This was something that I've been looking for quite a long time, ever since I discovered it existed. And basically, for those of you who don't know, I have a complete 32X set, and I'm a big fan of that. I love the system because it is so weird, and you know, being a Sega fan, I just love it. So this game came out and was a Cowlitz exclusive from, oh gosh, what year? 2014? I can't remember when this was. It was a few years ago, and there's only 35 carts produced, and what it is it's Spot Goes to Hollywood, and this is a unreleased 32X game. I've been looking for one, and unfortunately they're just not out there. I mean, they only made 35 of them, and previously, leading up to the event, I had asked John Hancock about it, and he was sort of like, well, you know, you're really gonna have to just find one somewhere out there. They pop up once in a while, type of a deal. But when I went and asked him this time, he mentioned that there was a vendor who actually had a copy for sale. And John was very cool to introduce me to Jeremy. And Jeremy was not only a really cool guy, he went and looked at my table just to see if there was something to trade. But, you know, he's downsizing his collection. So anyway, we did make a deal, and it was very fair. And I just want to say, you know, thank you, John. Thank you, Jeremy. You guys are awesome. This game was unreleased. It's got a manual, and the manual is very cool. I guess the programmer even like reached out and said, this is awesome what you guys are doing. This cart is numbered number 32 out of 35. And you know, it's funny because Cool Spot, I used to play it on Genesis all the time. It was one of those games I would just beat randomly, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. So I'm going to check this one out. I think it's a little bit different. It does have some bugs, but with that said, it's mostly complete. I think they were saying it was about 80% complete. So really stoked to have this, and this is definitely one of my highlights of the show because it's just something that I've been looking for, and it's just it's a very kind of rare, you know, production of this game. So thank you so much, guys. Okay, moving on. I've got a crazy thing here that Reggie and I worked out, so thanks again, bro. And I'm gonna see if I can get it into frame, and then I'll go over it all. But man, this is something that Reggie wanted to get rid of, and I think I can't remember, he's going to be doing a video about how it's good to sometimes let go of things in your collection that you're not playing, you know, and that's really true. Like, if there's something that you have and it's just sitting there and you never play it, never appreciate it, sometimes it's good to just let it go, you know. And anyway, I was fortunate enough because I've been looking for one of these for a long time, and here it is, a Vectrex. And I can't tell you how excited I am. This is a beautiful model, and I believe he said it's actually been recapped as well, so that's really awesome. And if that wasn't cool enough, we have a grip of games, and I mean a grip of games. Now, He's got some really cool ones, you know, that I'm going to save for the end, but I'm just going to show you guys some of the loose ones he has. So, and you know, he's got manuals too. He gave me a grip of manuals, so a lot of these do come with the manual, and quite a few overlays as well. So that's really awesome. But yeah, the games themselves are Berserk, Space Wars, Bedlam, Cosmic Chasm, Pole Position, Hyper Chase, Star Castle, Heads Up, Spinball, Armor Attack, Scrabble, Spike. I love how simple that name is. Spike, you know? Star Trek. I'm going to probably play that right away. Blitz. Starhawk. And Ripoff. That's interesting. Wonder what that's about. And Solar Quest. So those are all loose. And then topping it off, we've got... this is just hilarious. I don't know. Thrust. I think this is some kind of a homebrew. So, you know, Thrust. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. It's some kind of a spaceship. And then Vectrexagon. Vectrexagon. That's kind of hard to say. And then Protector Yes. So, I'll tell you what. I can't wait to play all these. Another thing he hooked me up with is just too much, man. You're too much. Is the multi-cart. The Vectrex multi-cart inbox. And I can't tell you how cool this is. So I'm not sure how many games are on here. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't say. It doesn't say, it just says 3.0. So I don't know, but there's the multi-cart, which is really cool. Thank you so much, dude. I'm glad we were able to work all that out. And that concludes my Cowlitz pickups. And I just again want to reiterate how great of a show that was. It's kind of just low-key. It's great as a vendor to pull up, to be able to unload easily. You know, it's an hour away from where I live, but it's totally worth it. Even though I had to get up super early, it was worth it. I got home late, all that stuff. It was a blast. Had a blast talking with everybody. If you came by the booth, thank you so much. And you know, I don't know. I'll be at the next one for sure. I just always like that one. I'm still up in the air with PRGE. I feel like I want to go and just hang out, but maybe I'll go and have another booth. So anyway, thank you so much, you guys. Until next time, you know what to do. You keep that shit retro by going to your local gaming expos and supporting your local scene later on.